What's up, everybody? It's Levi from LeviLassick.com. Thanks again for joining me. Please like and subscribe below. And also, this is episode 4 of 4 of my interview with Dr. Mike Andriano. And Dr. Mike Andriano was the first key doctor I found in my natural healing process that helped me cure my ulcerative colitis over a year time frame. I had had ulcerative colitis for 8 years. And then it nearly killed me in 2013 whenever I lost 50 pounds in a single month. I was disabled, I was bedridden, and I wasn't getting any better. I'd seen 4 GI doctors up to this point. None had helped me get better. I was just getting worse, and they ultimately wanted to remove my colon. Well, I didn't want to lose my colon at 33 years old. And so finding Dr. Mike was the right timing for me because he helped me start to get better in just 2 weeks. So in this episode, we're going to talk about how to reduce stress levels again. And I'm talking about everyday stresses in your life, not necessarily stress with your work, although that's important. But, electromagnetic radiation, you'll learn a little bit about that. Why relationships are important. We're going to talk about blue zones. We're going to talk about using suntan lotion. We are going to talk about good bacteria. Even toxic clothing. Is the clothing you're wearing actually toxic and, ultimately causing harm to you and your immune system? So stay tuned. I think you're going to find a lot of good information in this final video of the series. And so stick around, check it out. What else do you think that would help people, if they don't have access to infrared sauna, they don't have access to some of the other things, what can they kind of do as well just to, what are some of the basic things that they could do? Getting out, that's, it's funny you mentioned that. I heard somebody talk about this the other day and I never thought about it. And you know how your mom used to yell at you when you were a kid about don't go outside with your hair wet in the wintertime, right? She'd say like, it's going to make you sick. Don't go outside with your hair wet. And they said, no, that's not what made you sick. It's being cooped up in the house all winter and not leaving and kind of just breathing in the same air in that system and not moving and getting the sunlight and things like that. So it's funny you just brought that up about quarantine. It just made me think about that. So even things like that, getting out, walking, getting some sun, very important for just
walking, getting some sun, be purposeful. Relationships are huge to your health. We're designed to have relationships, and you may have heard of the blue zones around the world where people are living over 100 years old on a high level. And a lot of people contributed to diet, which I'm sure is part of it. But some of the research that's come out is actually the social structures they have in these blue zones, that they have real good tie-in with other people and these relationships, and they contribute a lot of those relationships as these people live in a long time. So relationships are really big, and especially in our day and age when we can defer to these Zoom meetings or talk on our phone or text and not have to leave the house to talk to people. I think it's important to say, I'm going to put this thing aside and I'm going to go, instead of text, I'll call. And instead of calling, I'm going to go visit someone and make it a point to get out and see people. It really is important. And I think we're losing a lot of that in our culture, especially now with quarantine, being outside and getting that sun rays. And, during the summertime, in our house, we don't use suntan lotion unless we know we're going to be at the beach at high noon and be out there for 7 hours. Otherwise, if we're outside, no suntan lotion, because you need all those light waves from the sun to your body to operate correctly. Looking at what's in your house that you can get rid of that's a synthetic product. Synthetic products don't resonate with your body well. Grounding is another easy thing to do. Walking outside with your shoes off on grass or on sand can be really important. Looking at the kind of clothes you wear. We wear a lot of synthetic clothing now. In fact, I've been noticing it's hard to get some of the natural fibers in a lot of things. And that actually, this electromagnetic frequencies, some of them are beneficial, some of them are harmful. And synthetic clothing actually blocks a lot of the beneficial electromagnetic frequencies to our body. So we're being assaulted on all these fronts. And unfortunately, you really need to look into educating yourself on what is how do we live 100 years ago? And getting back to some of the modern conveniences they might be convenient, but they're really harmful to your health. So looking at what can I give up? What do I not really need in those convenience senses, and getting back to some more natural, original type things, and having an authentic life instead of synthetic life.
Yeah.
And some of that stuff can be simple, but you got to give something up to do it. So, but there's a big payback for it too. You get a lot of benefits from it.
Well, and this is my own personal opinion, not to be taken as medical advice by any means, but I actually, I refuse to wear sunscreen. And even though I love the beach and I love traveling, I just give myself a limit. So it's usually, I kind of know my threshold, whether that's 1 or 2 hours in the sun. And then I throw on a UVF shirt, and that's just, or I'll go sit under the umbrella, or whatever the situation is. I'll put on a neck scarf and a hat. So I like to get full sun exposure, but I don't want to get burnt. But at the same time, me personally, I don't want to even mess around with suntan lotion, because we look at it, there's about 50 ingredients on the back of that thing.
Right.
And I just, and plus I've never really liked the texture of it anyways, but yeah, I mean, that's interesting. And going back to the blue zones, another factor I believe in that too is that they also use extremely minimal transportation, and they tend to walk everywhere.
Yes.
And because they are smaller communities, and referring back to that, like you said, there's 5 major blue zones with the most centenarians, or the most amount of people that live over 100. And yeah, they all kind of have the same diet, but they all kind of have the same lifestyle too. They all know each other in those communities. They all walk everywhere. They're mostly hilly too. They're mostly hilly environments. So they're walking upstairs, or up some hills or downhill or things like that. They get their groceries from the local farmers or things like that. So yeah.
One of the things that a lot of people come in and they have these problems, and some people are really into their diet and they do eat really well. And I get a common comment, I eat really good, I don't understand why I'm sick. Well, today in our environment, the food is really bad. It's really poorly grown. It's pesticides and different chemicals, and stored in the wrong way. So our food is bad. So it does cause a lot of problems. But even if you fix all that, there's all these other factors that are around your health. So it's not just diet. So that's one of the things I try and communicate to my patients. Diet's really important, but that's not the only thing. It's all these other things, including relationships and being outside. I talked to a guy last year that he was telling me his story. He had lymphoma 5 times, and he'd go in, get his medical treatment, and then a few months later, he'd come back. And finally, the 5th time, he's like, I can't do this. The medical treatment's killing me, and I keep getting the lymphoma. And the first thing he did was he decided he needed more bacteria in his life from whatever he read, and he started gardening in bare feet. And and he went to a raw diet, and his lymphoma cleared up. And 11 years later, no lymphoma, just from going to a raw diet. And he credited being in bare feet out in the dirt is a big part of his success. So those little changes and getting rid of, he kind of lives a real basic life now, not a lot of technology and not a lot of this or that, but that's what he credits to his success.
It's funny you mentioned that, and I'm sorry, I could talk to you for hours, but
Sure.
I have to jump here in about 1 minute. But I have I make my own juices. This is a carrot and apple juice, and what I've actually, because I do buy organic, I don't leave all of it on, but actually I leave some dirt on it, because that's where our vitamins and minerals come from, the soil, and so that's where the fruits and vegetables get their vitamins and minerals.
Absolutely.
So I've actually, and it usually settles at the bottom, so it's not like I'm just drinking dirt, but there's like a little bit. It doesn't bother me, and I just think of it as healthful. But also, I do like to work on my flower beds, and I don't use gloves for that reason too, to kind of get my hands dirty and get some dirt on there. So
the Bible says we're made from dirt, so I don't think dirt's going to hurt us too much. It's actually pretty helpful, and there's a lot of research coming out that there's a lot of properties, the dirt that are beneficial to your health. So not that you want to go out and eat dirt, but absolutely what you're saying is
Tastes
correct.
like dirt, but you could live off of it.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Well,
yeah, Dr. Mike, I really appreciate, I would love to, talk to you again sometime, but where can people find you online?
TrinityHolistic.com is my main website, and there's information there on how to contact me. And we do free phone consultations for new patients. If you're ever interested, I'll talk with you for a bit, get an idea what's going on, and let you know how I think I can help you if I can help you.
Yeah, and extremely affordable as well. I would say. I would say you're very well priced,
Oh,
and
thank you.
that I think that's really great for people too, especially struggling with health conditions. They're usually financially spent, and so yeah, it's
Right.
an opportunity because I've worked with several holistic doctors, and some are on the high end. Yeah, I would say, Dr. Mike, you're very, very affordable, but I actually I think you undercharge, but still.
I'm raising my prices tomorrow.
Yeah. Whoops. All right. Sorry. But thanks again for joining me. And most of all, thanks for saving my life and being a part of my health journey. I mean, you really changed my life. So.
Well, thank God, and love you, Levi. I think about you a lot and what you went through. And I was just telling someone the other day when you first came in, I was a little concerned that you weren't going to make it, but to see your transformation over and a lot of the credit has to go to you because you were one of those super patients that did everything you were supposed to do and continue to do the things you're supposed to do, and gave up a lot of things in your life and just totally changed things. And I think that's a huge credit to why you are where you're at.
Well, thank you. So please, if you found this video helpful, like and subscribe, and also go visit Dr. Mike. It's well worth the trip to Chicago if you're not in Chicago, and I promise he will take care of you. And so thank you again, Dr. Mike. God bless you. And
Yeah, we'll see you next week, Levi.
all right.
Have a good one. God bless.
Bye for now.